The two things that I hear most commonly are number one, improve your response times. And number two, we the neighbors appreciate community policing. Community policing takes more officers, not fewer. And if we're going to improve our response times, again, cutting funding and reducing staffing is not the way to achieve that. So those are the two most common things I hear. In the last couple of months, though, we've heard, what about training? When Chief Villasenor was the chief a few years ago, he was invited back to DC on a 21st century policing task force. So we've been a leader in 21st century and progressive policing since Villasenor was the chief. Technology, everybody's into body worn cameras now. Those come at a cost, and the academies. Frankly, when we put an academy in place to add more officers to the agency, we're just treading water. It's a tough agency to keep people in it and not lose ground. So yeah, we've heard a lot from the community. The defund movement came with the Lopez incident, but this is a much broader conversation. It's how do we keep the public safe?
Can you give us any specifics on what's being done differently right now as the people want the department held to more accountability?
Every law enforcement agency in the nation is under greater scrutiny, and I take pride, and I know Chief Magnus takes pride in what we've done. We were the only agency in the nation that voluntarily adopted what are called the 8 can't wait standards, and they have to do with de-escalation. We have hired 8 new social workers. That's going to come at a cost of about $700,000. We've hired a housing first coordinator that's going to come at a cost of about 100 grand. All total, Lorraine, we've put about over $2 million in this budget simply to give the police the social service support that they're going to need when they go out on calls. We hear from the community that oftentimes law enforcement is not the right agency to be called. We get that. We understand that. But the difficulty is putting the burden on a 911 dispatcher to make that triage decision. Do I, the dispatcher, send a law enforcement agency out, or do I send a social worker out?
Fair to say policing looks very different these days.
It does, and rightfully so. All calls don't warrant necessarily a law enforcement officer showing up, and it's great that we have the opportunity now to call on these social service agencies and get them in the mix as well. We've got a homeless unit that shows up when we have an officer stabilizing a situation, and we need to put a person into a congregate setting or into a housing first setting. We have mental health support units showing up when behavioral health issues are in place, and they can get those people into the treatment that they need. We have a deflection unit that shows up, and that's a policy that we use so that when we come across somebody with a small amount of drugs, the goal is not to bust them and take them to jail. The goal is to get them into the treatment programs that they need. So all these processes and protocols are in place. And with this most current budget, we added another couple $1 million in more social service support to what the police already have in place.
All right, Councilman Steve Kozachik, thanks for your time.
I appreciate the invitation, Ryan. Thanks.